Right, so let's climb up that wall and super dash. Well, that went well. Obviously, it's not as simple as climbing to the top and using the super dash, but there is a sweet spot where you travel the entirety of the room. However, it's debatable whether it's worth it setting yourself up compared to just going by the ground level. In this room though, climbing and super dashing is almost definitely the fastest way.
Ah, Ranjo Stenja. Jonsha. Garadel Akari.
With our nail upgraded, we can now save quit and then warp to the city storeroom stack station. Now we should go all the way to the left to the elevator connecting to the infected crossroads and pay the toll machine to make it working again. Here's the toll machine. Let's go the elevator and take it back to the crossroads. Going left will eventually lead us to our first vessel fragment. We need to drop between those two spiked walls and then continue left. After getting the vessel fragment, we can save quit and then warp to Dirtmouth. Now let's go down the well and then left to the main vertical shaft of the crossroads. There's a breakable ceiling just above the entrance that contains a whispering root and a few geostones. In preparation for the essence orb collecting, let's clear some of the enemies. Here are the geostones and the root is a bit further to the left. The orbs from this one can be collected with relative ease, provided the volatile gruzzers behave. Well, they didn't really cooperate with us, but thanks to those upgrades we managed to deal with them quickly enough. Let's go back to the Ancestral Mount for another Whispering Root. This one is located near the lifeboat cocoon at the top left of the room. We do need the monarch wings in order to reach this place. While the essence orbs in this one are significantly more than the previous, collecting them all is rather simple. We just have to go through the entirety of the ancestral mount. And the last ones are up above. Now let's go back to the main shaft and continue down. Here we take the bottom right exit. And here the bottom left. Don't forget that the violent husks need to be killed from a distance. There are several geostones in the bottom right corner of this room. We'll go back up again, continue left and then drop all the way down. If you need it, you can take the right exit and continue until you find the crumbling floor, which you can destroy with a desolate dive. There is a fossilized golem for the Hunter's Journal, as well as a couple of geostones. Now let's go back to the previous room and drop down through the bottom exit. About halfway through this vertical shaft, there is an exit on the right that leads us to Leg Eater, from whom we can buy the fragile charms. It's actually this one on the right, but I got distracted and went past it. It was at this point I realized that. As usual, let's first talk with Leg Eater, then equip the Defender's crest and then buy his fragile charms. Instead of the Soul Catcher, I should have immediately used the Fragile Greed charm, since its effect stacks with the luck attribute, but I fixed my mistake before long. The last thing we need to do here before entering the Fog Canyon is activating this Whispering Root and collecting all the Essence Orbs. Try to collect them starting from the bottom and going to the top, since that's where the exit to the Fog Canyon is. Not all parts of the wall are climbable, we have to rely on the bouncy plants. And this is the last one. Let's enter the Fog Canyon. First, let's go to the top exits. There's a hidden vertical shaft lined with spikes that contains a Hallownest seal. Now let's go back down a bit and take the first exit on the left. This is a challenge room filled with jellyfish and exploding eggs. Once we get to the end of it, however, we'll gain another charm notch. With our current health and resilience, we could simply YOLO it and iframe the entirety of the room, but let's do it the intended way. There we go. Now let's get back to the previous room using the iframes from the Desolate Dive spell. Next we'll go find Cornifer. He's in a passage starting just below the challenge room. How the hell did it turn so sharply? Cornifer is just up and to the left of here.
Make him noise, good G.
Once we buy the map, we need to backtrack to the vertical shafts. Here we drop further down and take the left exit again. Ultimately, our goal is the teacher's archive and our first dreamer. Before that, however, there is another grub we should save. Starting from this ledge here, we'll do a super dash and this will take us directly to the grub. Now let's chat a bit with Quirrell and then enter the teacher's archive. As usual, let's first grab the bench. Let's also use this opportunity to replace the Wayward Compass and Grub Song Charms with Fragile Strength. I want to do as much damage as possible entering this boss fight. Now let's just loop around, going down until we reach the boss arena. And here we go! In this fight the combo mod will not change things, as there is no way we'll be able to get a high enough count. A few lucky crits, however, can make the fight so much shorter. Let's see what happens. Okay, Quirrell has arrived. Now the most important thing is to maximize the damage each time the boss is vulnerable. Taking a third of his health in one cycle is pretty good. Let's hope this holds up. Another couple of crits and this would have been a 2-cycle fight. A pity, but still, 3 cycles is plenty fast. Overall, I am very happy with how the fight went. Now let's get through the door on either side and go right below this arena, so we can meet the first dreamer. Here's the room that contains the tank the dreamer is resting in. Let's inspect it and then wait for Quirrell to remove the barrier. Now we can dream out the dreamer and enter her dream and absorb her essence. We can super dash here in order to save a couple seconds. Now we just slash a few times at her and then absorb her. With that, the first seal has been broken. Before leaving the teacher's archive, let's stop by a certain contraption using Charged Room of Ice for their Hunter's Journal entry. We need to take the left route and go through the first opening up. And now we are officially done with the teacher's archive. We do still have a few things we must do in the Fog Canyon, so let's go outside and then head left. If you kill an Ooma in this place, it can often lead to chain explosions, since there are so many packed in a cramped space. Let's quickly grab the bench and then get out of here. Heading left, we can open a shortcut connecting to the western half of the Fog Canyon. Now we can go straight left through the top left exit. We continue left through this room and again take the left exit. There's a Hallownest seal we can collect by going through the top exit about halfway through this room. Be careful here, as there are a ton of charged Luma flies. We just need to climb on the ledge above and grab the Hallownest seal. There's also a lifeblood cocoon on the left we could use. Now let's continue left until we reach the overgrown mound. Here it is. We need to enter it so we can collect our last spell, Howling Raids. There's just a short squid gauntlet that stands between us and the spell. We can one-shot all of them, so it won't take long. Just be careful not to fall down in the spikes. Best would be to just wait for them to come to you. With that done, let's continue right. There's a geostone we can collect before dropping down for the spell. We've now completed the Fog Canyon. There's nothing else we have to do here. Next, let's go to Green Path. There's a few more things we have to do there in order to complete that region as well. The fastest way to get there is by backtracking to the previous vertical shaft and taking the top exit. We just go straight through this room and continue right. Here we go up through the top exit. Preferably without dying to the Uomas. And we're now in Green Path. First, let's collect another Wanderer's Journal in a hidden alcove a bit up and to the right. Now let's take the left exit from this room and fight one of the optional bosses. The Massive Moss Charger is an extremely easy boss both in the vanilla game and in this modded version. Obviously the combo mod makes this fight a complete face roll. If he even lasts for enough hits, that is. Heading left, we need to save another grub, collect a vessel fragment, a mask shard, and fight our first warrior grave spirit. Let's not miss out on that free geostone before we leave here though. The only thing of interest in this room are a couple of geostones. Other than that, we just need to exit through the left. Actually, there's also a geo chest here I failed to mention. This will be the first thing we'll collect in this room. The next thing we see is the grub, but we'll go past it for now. First, let's head all the way to the left and climb up into an opening. We can use the super dash here and cancel it once we reach the vessel fragments. Then another super dash to the right will bring us to a boulder dangling on a vine we can cut and drop right near the grub. With all those things done, we can now backtrack to the initial room we entered after we left the Fog Canyon, and this time take the upper right exit so we can grab a bench. Just one more room to the right. I tried to be fancy here and super dash off this ledge, but I ended up wasting way more time than if I had simply walked through the room. And here we must go up and take the top right exit. Here's the bench. Hey guys! I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to see more from this game, you can check out my playlist over there. If you like my content, please press the like button, and if you have any comments, opinions or suggestions, I would love to hear from you in the comment section. Thank you for spending your time with me and hope to see you again next time. Until then, have a good one.